$34.1 billion in child support was owed during the year 2007. The average amount of child support due was $5,350. 62.7% of that money, an average of $3,354, was actually received. In other words, on average, custodial parents who receive child support get about $280 per month.
How long have you had a child support order in place?
10.5 years.
And how much of that time has your ex been delinquent with child support payments?
Over 8.5 years.
How long have you had a child support order in place?
I believe since the year 2004.
And how much of that time has your ex been delinquent with child support payments?
It's easier to state how much she's paid, about 10 months.
Out of 8 years, she's paid about 10 months.
That's correct.
On time. Okay. What are some of the experiences you've had with the Child Support Enforcement Office?
Not very good experiences. Being on two sides of it, working for the child support agency at one point, and then being a parent that's trying to get child support. They're understaffed, first of all. They have a hard time keeping up with all the caseload that they have. I remember working there, I had 300 cases, and there's absolutely no way, with 300 cases and one caseworker trying to go through all of them. There's a lot of holding, waiting, not a lot of communication, not a lot of feedback, not a lot of knowing what's going on with your case. There's constant having to call in and leave messages upon messages upon messages, and maybe you'll get a return call, usually not. That's been my experience.
What are some of the experiences you've had with the Child Support Enforcement Office?
Well, you go into the office, and when you show up, no matter how long you're willing to wait, that's the day you can make an appointment. You can't actually see somebody that day. So you have to make an appointment for a future date. So you come in for that other date, and that's when you get to speak to somebody. I've also found that there's an office here in Colorado Springs and one in Denver, and the two offices can't do the same thing. Sometimes you need to call Denver, and on other occasions you can do that here in the office, but you don't know who you need to talk to for whatever specific situation you have.
So there's no kind of guidelines to contacts as far as getting your case done?
None that I'm aware of.
What flaws do you see in the child support enforcement system?
Well, they don't return your calls, for one. There's no touching base. I've called multiple times and I never receive a phone call back. It just feels like there's no concern at all for the children.
What flaws do you see in the child support enforcement system?
I got a court order, signed up for the support registry, and I thought everything was in order, but it seems that you have to keep coming in and prodding them along and getting them to enforce the order.
So nothing's autonomous with the system?
No, you would think once you have an order and you give them all the information they want that they stay on top of that, but until you complain, it seems like nothing gets done.
What are some of the repercussions of not having child support enforced?
Well, we have to, my income is the sole income. So basically the money that I get from working is what we have. And so it means that we go without quite a bit. We've had to go on to food stamps at one point. Gabriel has been on Medicaid and CHP Plus, which with healthcare doctors, a lot of good doctors, specialists, do not accept, his insurance. They don't accept CHP Plus or Medicaid. He has, some chronic illness with asthma. So there's co-pays, there's, medicine cost. He goes to Catholic school, so there's tuition that I pay, there's child care that I pay. And money can be tight sometimes. Unfortunately, you know, there's certain activities and things that I'd like to do for Gabriel and provide, you know, for him. And unfortunately, with financial circumstances, we're not able to.